the guy is actually the prize. That might be hard to take in.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I
Believe
feel
it or not.
learn.
Believe it or not.
Listen. What is up, kings and queens? I hope y'all are good. Today is the third installment of the series called Heart Affairs, and today I got my guests in the house. Nonhlakanipho, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Nonhlakanipho Ngwakantombela, and I live in White Bank, which is like a ghost town by Kloof, or like Kwadabeg if you want to be like precise. So apparently we have to share if we're in a relationship or not. Yeah, well, just to introduce the topic of Heart Affairs. Yeah, my heart has been captured. Campbell, you captured this heart of mine. You captured. I'm somebody's dandelion.
It is
so that's
it's for many things out. Siamtanda, take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Samtanda. Well, I'm Somi. I live in Kawi's Hill. Zulu. I am currently single for very good reasons.
Okay.
Yep. That's my
Why are you single?
I kind of have a very different perspective on love, because I feel like every guy should also first just work on themselves, get everything sorted within their lives, maybe their money. If they want to go get education, that's what they need to do. They need to put themselves first before they put anybody else first. I mean, you can put God first, but you can't put another person second before yourself. So if a guy is not completely settled and doesn't know where exactly their mind is and where they are going with life, they tend to lay back and just let themselves be taken over by emotions and forget that they need to, find some other things to run themselves. And ultimately, I feel like we all want to have a family at some point. So as a guy, we need to look for a wife first. Not that we can't have a girlfriend, we can, but if we really want to settle down, we're looking for a person who displays wife qualities, So at this point in time, it's very difficult finding those things. So guys, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Can I ask a question? Like, I really want to know this. Is it a thing of Uguti? It's more so girls in your age group that you feel like they're just not ready to be fully committed as well. Like, you tend to find people who are not within the same like wavelength as you.
Yeah, true. I mean, most of the girls my age, they are not quite there yet.
Are you,
they don't understand. Pardon?
How old are you?
I'm 21, turning 22 in a few weeks.
Okay.
I feel like girls, they can even turn 35, they can still be negligent of the fact that I is actually the price. That might be hard to take in.
Okay.
Yes. Believe it or not, the guy is the prize. Because firstly, a woman wants she wants a guy who can provide and who can protect them. And if you want a guy who earns good amount of money, I mean, he is the prize, because every other girl wants him. He is at that level. If he earns like at least R1 million a year, that's someone who's quite there at the top. So he is the prize. And the woman she just has to display femininity and, be patient, be, calm, be a woman. Not someone who wants to fight with you and just, go off and stuff like that.
I have a question.
I'm giving you facts here.
I have a question. Okay, so the man is a prize based on his materialistic things. Kuphela. And his
No.
Okay. Talk about character. Tell
I
me
mean-
about their character that makes them a prize.
A man at that level wants more than one partner. Firstly,
Okay.
not everyone is willing to settle for that. Imagine having a man who earns about 5 million a year.
Okay.
That person is attractive. Money does, yes, money does make a person attractive. You can have an ugly guy who earns a lot of money, and you can be a pretty boy, and that ugly guy can still have most of the girls that you want because he has money. That's facts.
Can I
Dealing
please
with
say
But they
something?
not okay. Continue.
Okay, like, firstly, I'm not disputing the fact that men are not the prize. I feel like equally when you're coming into a relationship, you both are a prize for each other. I just think not necessarily you guys, I'm not saying that I've hit the jackpot, but umuntu is a prize for their person, and you will treat your prize in a good way, right? So I think the problem would then be ukuthi maybe men love to associate themselves and their worth and their value with what they have in their pockets. And as much as, yes, it's nice having a partner with money and, isn't Ozibalula, but like, that's you. Okay, let me put it like this. Like, yabo, in that particular situation, you'll find yourself as a man, because when you start having tough times and you're looking for your partner to understand things are tough, you're not going to have a partner who's going to genuinely love you for who you are. You're going to have a partner who's going to love you for what you can provide. So you're basically shooting yourself in the foot later on in life. Like, I don't know how to put this. Like, I don't believe in, like, I'm not going to say I don't believe in 50-50 relationships. Like, it has to be that way. Like, they're not always going to be 50-50. Like, some days he'll carry 30, I'll carry 70 because it's hard for him. I'll carry 90, he'll carry 10, or other way around, him 10, him 90, me 10, as I'm saying. Like, you can't base like your dating pool according to your wallet.
True.
Guys,
And that's how you end up not finding somebody who loves you for you.
Exactly.
Like, that's how
They
you
love
end
your
up
money.
removing.
They're drawn to your money.
You're removing love
And whatever
of yourself.
exactly.
Basically, it's
Which
materialistic
brings
love.
me-
I don't love you as a person.
Which brings me to the
I
first
feel-
point, if we're looking at the outline of what we would actually define as love. In your perception, anyone can go for this. I know love is not a linear term,
go.
Let you go.
but Nje.
I'll let you go.
Okay.
Okay, like, I've done a little bit of like reading in terms of like this whole spectrum. When you've been dumped, or like you've just not been getting it right, and you're trying to figure out like, what is it? So then I took it upon myself to read a book that everybody was talking about on the TL. It's called All About Love by Bell Hooks. Basically, this book by Bell Hooks describes, or like, it gives a definition in its own self after having spoken about everybody having a different definition of what love is. And it goes into detail about how love is multidimensional. So after having read that, I kind of decided to also like adapt that definition that they displayed and they explained basically. And in the sense of it being multidimensional, it's not just one thing. It's composed by a lot of components. Like, love is care, it is trust, it is respect, it is responsibility, it is loyalty, it's commitment, it's all of those factors that people find hard to display if they are selfish to another person. And it's also more so just extending yourself in order to nurture and help somebody else grow. Because I'd love to believe that if you love something, you'd love to see that thing grow. And love does that. Love does not stifle or like hinder, or like whatever word you'd like to use. it helps somebody grow and become a better person, a bigger individual, etc., etc. Uzube nje nama examples of power couples of ukuthi they have built together. That building is a part of growing together. You are not breaking each other down. So that is like an idea, somewhat of an idea of how I perceive it. It's multidimensional. It's not just one dimension.
True.
I mean, I agree to some extent.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like, not to be sexist or anything, but I feel like females kind of make love this fantasy type of thing. I mean, it's not always like that. You're gonna get, I mean, you can fall in love with someone and then they just, you as a person, you feel the love. You know you love someone. You can feel it. But then you don't know how they feel. They can tell you how they feel, but you don't know how they feel. You can control how much you love someone to some extent with how much of yourself you give. Sometimes the less of yourself you give, the more they want to, pursue your attention or your love. And there are also parts of it where a guy can come into a relationship expecting a certain treatment. And then, so many things go into this, so many things, and there are disappointments along the way. You can't rule them out. You can grow with someone, but they can disappoint you to a certain extent. Like for a guy, if a guy gets cheated on, it's not the same as when a girl gets cheated on. Let's state facts. When a girl gets cheated on, a guy sees like the girl as something much cheaper, but then a girl sees the guy as something worth going for. Now they want to chase. They're feeling that, that, what is it? Anxiety, where they have to prove themselves now that, hey, I'm here. So when a guy is involved with a girl, it's very different in terms of the girl side and the guy side.
Okay. I get that. And I hear you guys. I'm a definition in as well. Your definitions of what love is and the dynamics of guys and girls as well. And with what you were saying about the whole thing of some people, a person can give less in a way, and then that might evoke, for example, a guy doesn't puts in the bare minimum basically, and in that way the girl ends up chasing the guy even more, right? I feel like personally I've seen that happen a lot in our generation. Mostly some people literally, the more it seems like, I think it's the whole analogy of bad guys or bad boys are the best or something like that, because bad boys are literally nonchalant, they don't care they don't care. But I feel like that not caring is that magnet to probably all the girls or the women, in that thing of everyone is on that mentality maybe of, maybe I can change him, maybe he can change for me type of thing. And I feel like you can't really change a person until they're ready to change. And I feel like that's one of the reasons, out of the many, one of the reasons why love seems to be something that really hurts. Yes, love is not always like amazing, like we're not always cruising in a yacht in Dubai. No, it gets hectic. It gets hectic and it has ups and downs. But like, I feel like that whole mentality of the fact that khona abantu abafuna ukuncengwa in love, like ukuthi uyancengwa nje wena nje, kulandelwa wena nje every time, that is a problem. That is a problem in itself. Because I feel like everyone to a certain extent, everyone might have that element in them of uguti. And it's good to have self-worth in that okay, I'm the prize. As Unhlaga said, uguti, in a relationship, both the guy and the girl are the prize in a way, and they come together and both, right? But kunga buguti, it's so unequal all the time that you are giving, let's say one person is giving 90% all of the time, and the one is giving 10%.
Then it becomes toxic.
Exactly. You're giving everything. You are giving everything. You'll get tired. Number one, you won't have time for yourself to recharge. Number two, basically your life revolves around this person. And it's not even like this person is helping you grow. You're just getting drained. So I feel like with a lot of things that come with love, there must also be like understanding as well. Understand each other, get to know each other. Because I feel like even ourselves, even yourself as a person, like I've always been thinking about the Suguti, even for me as a person, there are a lot of things I'm still learning about myself. At my big age. I'm still learning a lot of things about myself. 21, not that big, but like almost. But like I'm still learning a lot of things about myself. Imagine two people coming together. One person that's still learning something about themselves, a lot of things about themselves, and the other person still doing the same. Now they're coming together to learn more about themselves and also to learn more about the other person. So it's an entire investment. It's not just ukuthi njalo kuyohlezi nifunzana ama-strawberries kumnandi, but literally you need to open your heart up. Opening your entire heart up to someone is hectic.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
You see, but like I feel like it's a risk. It's a risk that eventually you'll have to take. Eventually, like we are growing as people. Soon, so abadala, and it's like eventually you'll find that person where you like, okay, I'm willing to take this risk with this person.
I feel like it's also a risk where anything can just go wrong. I mean, falling in love it's something else. I don't want to. Not right now, because I need to have my confidence up. As a guy, I should have like unparalleled confidence in myself. I feel like every guy should start there, clear that ground up, make sure that everybody should start
there, not just guys.
So it's very difficult to say we can grow together, because let's say as a young couple, let's say 20, 21-year-olds, I mean, it's the best time to get married because as a woman, you're not run down that much. Your body count is still young.
Like I'm trying to process
your thoughts.
Because now I feel like, okay, I don't feel like this is the best time to get married, personally speaking. And the whole you're still figuring yourself out, they're still figuring themselves out thing, it happens. Like, oh my word, sorry, let me switch off my phone from vibrate to silent.
What would be the best time for marriage?
No, the thing is, it depends on you as a person, when you feel like you're ready. Because at the end of the day, like, you could be 40 and still feel like, that's not the path that I'm willing to take. I'm not willing to go there right now. But the thing is, like, if you're going to base, like, falling in love and having to, like, angazi, like, this is love and this is fear. Now you keep you're trying to figure out which one is gonna, trump the other one. You're gonna spend so much time fighting that you're not gonna really like allow yourself to just experience. Like like, okay, love and pain are not supposed to coexist. in terms of like if you're doing it right. But the thing is, as humans, Vele, when we're not created to be perfect, right? I'm going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. We're not going to be perfect. There's going to be misunderstandings, and then there's going to be like just downright disrespect. But you have to figure out how you. I think the thing is, you disappoint yourself as a person. So now expecting to meet somebody who's not going to disappoint you, when as an individual to not disappoint yourself is unrealistic. It's very unrealistic. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna like even in life, there's the saying which you learn every day. Like you learn every day, whether it's learning something new about someone else, something new about a different topic, or even just yourself. You grow as an individual all the time. You are not stagnant. That's why you turn 1, 2, 3 to whatever age you are. But then the thing is, you can grow in terms of numbers, but that's also up to you as a person. But what I can say is, you can't always, if you're wanting to be freely in a situation where there is love and stuff, you can't, not stuff, but like you understand what I'm saying, with all of that rosy intlalogy about you're going to have to accept, one, that it's not always going to be great, but two, put aside your fears and whatever else you feel as if it's hindering you. Because there's this one time I read something that was saying, Guti, I prefer to stay single. You're single because they've hurt you, Vale. You're not immune to being hurt. In your singleness, you're a hurt individual. So either way, even if you stay single or you choose to want to enter into a relationship, there's still hurts within that whole element of you as a human being. So basically my point is, you can't now put yourself off of wanting to experience a relationship in terms of relationship love, because there's different types of love, whether it be friendship or romantic or like familial in terms of family love. In terms of a relationship, with a stranger, because it's a stranger, you don't know the person. You can't now say, Wuti, I'm not going to ever, not necessarily ever be in a relationship or fear being in one, or because of all of the negatives. Like, focus on what's negative. I feel like once you shut out the idea of Wuti, you guys are going to grow and change. If you have to grow, well, you're going to have to grow and you're going to have to change. It's inevitable. And if you grow apart, that's okay. Like, that's something else that needs to be like said, Wuti. Like, breakups in terms of like indifferences is fine. You're not going to hang up, like you're not going to hang on, sorry, just because you guys have been together since a particular time. No, people grow and they change. So if you're going to live in the fear of what you could grow apart, you're going to miss the moments where you guys can be growing together, even in your different ways. Because I could get with somebody now and they can teach me things about myself that I didn't know, but I can embrace and let it be like, Yazin, sharp, dude, thank you for that experience. But you can see it's just not. So let's go our separate ways. And you would have learned something. So, like, okay, from my perspective as being somebody in a relationship, like, I'd say,
why? But
because it's so unnecessary, like sharing from that perspective. But I just say, growing and changing is inevitable, right? And if you allow yourself to grow and change in that space, you tend to end up if you allow it freely and you don't like harbor yourself in or like hold yourself hostage in fear, like you don't have to worry about izinto. I don't know if I'm making sense, but guys, you can do whatever you wish with that information. Like, fear and love do not coincide. Like, because now you end up like holding in things because of Leo fear, Leo.
And
But
don't fear based on looking at other people as well, other people's failed relationships. It's all going to be the same, but it's all going to be different. It's not going to be the same. Your situation will be different to that person's situation. So ungabuka ama relationship abanye abantu uzabantu bethi hey mjolo pandemic nani now awufuna ungena pandemic. It's a pandemic. However, smallpox, with smallpox khona abazoyithola khona asebeyitholile vele mase kube khona abangeke bayithole, right? Snonke kodwa niphila within that there's leso sifo niyazi ukuthi sikhona. So everyone is just out here trying to survive. Also, if umthwele is a pandemic or if umthwele is a disease, for some it will work out. For some, it'll catch a disease. That's just how it's gonna be. So just focus on your own part and be like, okay, I'm focused on this relationship that I'm at. Ukuthi uTom uJerry benzeni, cha, focus on your thing, on your
For many people,
lane.
it won't work out. For many people, you know why? There are twice as many girls as guys in this world. Ubano tatwa, ubano oshiya mo. So for many, it won't work out. There are many incarcerations. There are many people living with depression. There are many people going to commit suicide. There are many people going to die before getting married. Bashir, I'm a Topazan behind. So many women don't get to have a guy. That's why I call it Tembo. That's why I also see righty, because you know, family. So yeah.
Can I just put this out here? I don't know if you remember, but I told you this not time. I was like, it was first year. I was like, I just want to experience love like purely at least once in my life, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that it has to end up in marriage, but having experienced that would be enough. Now it's changed a bit. It's like, okay, I'd love the idea of getting married, but that's within my selfish reasoning. I like to believe it because I'm selfish. But thinking of it like that, it's just like, the more you start having expectations on izinto, the more you're going to get disappointed. So it's better if you just, put things,
let it happen.
Not necessarily.
I feel like let it happen. Yes. Don't obsess about something. Because like literally the moment you're like, I want to be in a relationship, right? I think go right. And then the one thing you actually were obsessing about is the one thing that ends up hurting you for like a long time. So it's just like, let it flow, let it happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is, kind of thing.
It really
is. Yeah.
There's something that I wanted to,
what if you
in the
want?
discussion questions.
Yeah, continue.
No, I was saying that this is so confusing. Go ahead.
What if though we are phone shot at some point in time? I mean, you need to work towards that. So you need to do many things like keep in shape. And I feel like women also need to understand that guys are not really looking for women who aren't necessarily educated or who earn a lot of money. That's not what a guy is looking for. But for a woman, that's what she is looking for.
What are they looking for?
Us,
what is the guy?
Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah.
For us, it matters. For us personally, because it's our personal goals. Because before you meet another person, you are your own person. So it's like a thing, as you were saying, Guguti, well, let's say if you want to get married, like I know I want to get married, have a ton of kids and the whole thing. But the thing is, I have to, before I think about marriage, whatever I do now, it's not for Guti Leo goal yami marriage. Graduate so I can get married. No, I'm graduating for the fact that I want to possibly get a job. I want to have the certificate and then earn my own money, do this, do that for myself. And then if I do meet this person, underline the if, because it might not happen, it might happen. As much as I want it to happen, it might not be my reality. And I can't fight that. And then I do meet this person. Nami, I've accomplished these goals. Not saying that there are still other goals I want to accomplish. But then now that this person's here, I'm also thinking about them, but also at the same time, now you nama goals accomplish naming nawami, and we are working towards that. So it's like you continue.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wesifazane udinga. What does a woman need? Yeah.
What does a woman need?
Tell me what a woman needs. In a guy, what does she need?
It
Okay.
differs for everyone.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on every person. But obviously,
Generally.
the mainstream things of Uguti, everyone wants a man who can provide, a provider, right? Once a man, generally, it's someone who loves them, cares for them, understands them, all the elements that Untlaga explained love to be and to entail, right? Obviously, be a man of integrity, have dignity, all of those things, right? Obviously, well, with me, God-fearing man, first and foremost, has to be there. And yeah, all those things. As Utlaga said, it differs from person to person. So yeah. Now let me take the question back to you. What does a man need in a woman?
Let me tell you. A guy needs someone who's fit, feminine. So that would be someone who would get on their program. So if a guy says and asks the significant one, okay, please stay at home, take care of the kids, I'm gonna get the bag. Would you allow that?
A guy to say that to me?
Yeah.
Personally, because I'm a very ambitious person, I probably would be like, okay, I'll take care of the kids, but at the same time, I can't just be a stay-at-home kind of mom.
Yeah.
So
okay, maybe that's someone who's along your age, but if you find someone who's willing, let's say you are now 30, you're willing to settle down.
I think
your birth window is closing. Your birth window is now closing soon, 35. You don't have much time, but a guy can turn 40, 45 and still have kids. So if you really want to settle down and the guy wants to have a family, you need to sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice, he will go and look for someone younger who's more fit and more feminine to replace you.
The thing is, Anga Luguti, building a family. Okay, build the family, right? Have the kids. But Nakona, in maternity leave, you're taking care of the kids and whatnot. And you basically make space, especially now that we are modernized, man. Like literally, it's very rare to find women that will be like, I'm willing to be a housewife and just take care of the kids day in, day out and whatnot. As much as that life is tempting, have a rich guy, go shopping and whatnot. I know when the degree gets tough, I'm always like, I'm down for that. I'm just like, it's a thing of Uguti. We are so modernized in the fact that it's not as realistic as it used to be, as like our grandparents and our parents.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's say the guy is not earning enough to take care of the entire family. I've also got to work as well. Slanganise that income to make sure we are living, we are getting through, the kids are going to school. That's why family planning is important even before you decide to have a kid. You need to know whether you're ready to have a kid or not. Ubheka my finances, ubheke galani imsebenzi ukuthi khamba kahle yini. Can I have a kid? That's my personal opinion.
So that's basically an average guy. I mean, I suppose that's an average earner, someone who earns around 100,000 a year, give or take.
Most.
Can I please just say this?
That's someone you can replace. I mean, yeah.
Jay-Z has money, but he has never said to people, stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom. Like, why would you take somebody who has drive and ambition and like put them in a particular space? Like, no disrespect, none whatsoever, no offense, but I feel like that's very selfish. Unless you find someone who is in the same headspace as you.
Yeah.
Yes, then you can decide to do that. But if the person is somebody like Noltando or myself, ngeke uzu uthi kuyena akahlala endlini. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I'd like to believe that as a man, you don't want a stupid woman beside you. You want someone who you can have a conversation with, and that person can be like, Yazin, I think you should do A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z. And like you hear what they have to say, not just who's going to be like, well, hey, namangas. It's just like, what's the point? Because I feel like you're supposed to have somebody that you can rely on at the end of the day and who can help you get things done. Like,
solution.
ngiyanyakaza angihlale endaweni eyodwa mengithi ngiyangala manje ngiyakwamamdekazi uyangilanda noma uyasala ngithi manje ngebluff uyangilanda noma uyasala. It's always movement. I'm not going to stay in one place and stagnant. Like, when you look at people who, even maybe, I don't know, parental dynamics or family dynamics in terms of like how we all grew up here, but that affects how you view your life moving forward in terms of everything, like how you move as a person, how you distribute, not distribute, but how you share your love with people, whether it be friends, whether it be like normal outsiders and like a stranger, like your empathy and all of that stems from how you were raised inly. And that impacts how you are even in relationships, like whether it be friendships or whether it may be romantic relationships or just being a stranger to somebody else. So like, you also have to take that into account of like, how were you raised? What did you experience? Because I know for a fact that even when you're with someone, there's certain things that you do that the person is not going to understand, and they're not going to, when they're raised differently. And it's cool. You grew up in a family where your parents allowed you to be vocal in terms of like your emotions and your feelings and how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Like, not necessarily they're going to ask you, how are you feeling today? But if you are upset, and then they will sort of kind of like trigger or move the conversation in a way of they allow you to be more open as a human being. So now when you get with somebody who's more closed off and shut off, you're just going to be like, hey, boo, like, I'm coming here, I'm telling you X, Y, and Z, and then you're just going to be there like, you're just mute. But it's all because of like, okay, this is how this person was raised and this is how I was raised. Like, even if, let me say this, like, okay, this is a example, but like, this is very conflict resolution in here, like how you fix arguments in terms of what you've learned in terms of your household and in terms of how you're going to act outside. So endlini, if you guys argue and then nobody addresses the topic of why besilwa, ngiphathe kabi kanje wena, nami angithandanga ngalesikhathi uthi kanje, nami futhi I understand what I said wasn't great, and then you get to a point just like, I apologize, and the other person apologizes. Whereas if your dad is going to just defend you and then he's not going to apologize, now you're going to learn ukuthi nami ngingabehave isinomi kanjani, ngixabane nothando manje noma ngixabane nawe siyamthanda, and then I'm just gonna rock up on a random Tuesday answer. I'm not trying to say how's it going? Like, are you good? What's up? What's up, my nigga? Like, what's good? Ungakhulumanga naye, you didn't say, okay, Nolthando, I didn't like that you said this to me. And Nolthando na ukuthi yazi angithandanga nawe when you said, this. Okay, I didn't understand you at this point. You didn't understand me. So we had a misunderstanding. Let's talk about it fully. And then I forgive you. Do you forgive me? And then you move on. Because imagine if you're in a relationship with somebody who moves like that, you're going to start noticing which one is going to offend you. And then you're not going to understand whether it may be friendship or romantic. Who is going to offend you? And they think it's okay to just not apologize or not address the issue because of maybe what they've learned inside their parents' home or wherever they're growing up. And then they apply it to every other situation that they are in. Whereas it causes like a rift between people. I don't know if you guys share the same sentiments or not.
It's true.
I understand exactly what you're saying. Because I feel like there's also this aspect where you have someone who's raised to be vocal, rightly so. but sometimes they can be overly vocal where they begin to be annoying. They begin to always trigger the worst in you where you can't even handle it. You just have to.
Can I ask a question? Like, why do you feel, what is overly vocal? Like, I've noticed that a lot in terms of male, of Wuti, when a female starts, like, okay, I don't like using female, but when a woman starts to express how she feels and she doesn't let things like slide, all of a sudden you're overly vocal. Because I've noticed the thing of Wuti, they're keeping the peace by not addressing small situations, but they don't necessarily understand the small stuff can like transcend or like become bigger than what they are. Like, imagine if you chew in a particular way, mind you, and then you're not going to understand where my attitude is coming from. Rather than me just saying, dude, could you please try chew a little yabo better? When you're eating, we're going to have an argument that you're not going to understand because you just didn't say I don't like the way you chew, or you're not chewing like yabo.
Yeah,
it's hurting, necessarily hurting my ears.
It's annoying, basically.
But then my thing is, you said that somebody being overly vocal is an issue.
I mean, sometimes it is an issue. Let me explain why. You can have, I mean, as a guy, you can have, as I said as well, a guy is looking for someone who's feminine. We don't regard someone who comes up to you in front of people and starts shouting and acting out and doing all sorts of crazy things. We regard that as feminine, I mean, not feminine, but masculine energy. So if you display masculine energy, a guy is not going to take you seriously. So the minute you start shifting into that I own you type of energy, like you mine, all ghetto and type and all, it's just not attractive for guys. That's why sometimes they can approach a woman thinking that they are, tame, they are cool, calm, and collected. But then when they find out that no, she's loud as hell, she's uncontrollable, a guy who is a high value man will not take any masculine energy from a woman. They want a feminine person. Facts.
So
okay, so what is your opinion?
In communication, I think that's also kind of like plays into communication and how you communicate. And there was this quote, basically, I hope I'm not butchering it. It says something about Uguti, the tone of what you say, yes, what you say matters, but the tone also matters. So I know personally, for me, Uguti, if you come at me, like I cannot hear you. The words you are saying them, but I cannot hear you, because I prefer an approach of come to me calmly, because I communicate like that with other people. Yes, another person won't be the same as you, but because that's my way of communication, my tone is asboni sane rather than asteti sane, to bring our point across. So I feel like as well, it's kind of like a thing of Wuti, your tone in how you say things. Like Zikon isn't like straight up. And there will be moments where you do raise your voice. But at the same time, there are certain things where you are addressing a certain situation and it needs you guys to sit down and actually talk normally and be like, Dalela, I didn't appreciate this, that, and the other. And your tone will come across as, okay, this person wants to fix this, or this person wants to fix this. Other than Uguti, oh, this person is attacking me. Oh, okay, now let me get defensive now. Defend. So I feel like the tone as well, you must assess the situation and assess your tone as well as you speak to a person. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess that's what you want to say. I don't know. Like, you guys need to be very realistic. Ilento le ngishoyo ukuthi yabo kudepende ukuthi ukhule kanjani, honestly. Like, umuntu mezoba umuntu ukuthi yazini ngisho ngingathetha bazongizwa ngizothetha-ke. Like, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. Of course, you have to find like an equilibrium and a balance. But like, I don't think people actually understand how much of an impact how you were raised has, like, on how you like love other people or how you treat them or whatever, you know. I'm not saying there's only negative attributes like that you have in terms of how you were raised, but then those come along as well, because I don't know, maybe you guys have like experiences that you have in terms of like, I grew up in a particular way and then I meet somebody who's not necessarily the same, and then it causes like some sort of like, I can't relate to you, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about the worst scenarios of like growing up. I feel like a single moms, they don't have it all. They're not being led by a man. So when it comes to their children lack that man's perspective. When a guy is in a child's life, they grow up to be more confident, they know themselves more. But when you find that people are raised by single moms, they lack that submissiveness. You know, they tend to just lead themselves and just go. But when a man is in a family laying the rules, they teach their sons to be men, and they teach their daughters how to be loved. So the worst case scenario is
okay, let me put it like this. Like, okay, I have both my parents in my life, right? I have a dad and I have a mom.
Good. Yeah.
Which is a very like nice blessing. But
you're lucky.
How can I put this? My dad allows me, okay, sharp, like you get that whole daddy's daddy's girl business or whatever, you become the fave.
Yeah.
The way your father treats your mother sets a tone as to how you will allow men to treat you. More or less, yes, right? So what if this is what I was saying, if we come from different homes, like my dad is going to allow my mom to have a voice or say something. Yep. So, you know, when you're saying how a man is present and it creates more confidence, and I heard all of those points. But what if I told you that me as an individual being raised, I was raised to be independent, mother or father. Like when I first started driving, my dad wasn't that man of Uguti. Every single situation or problem that you're going to have, Tinda your father, I'm going to be there. I'm not saying that he doesn't care. No, he loves me and he cares for me. But he understands that Nami as umuntu mele. Because most of the times, my battery's shaking. Most of the times when your father is that person, you end up being codependent on men. And even if your father was not around, that happens. But it's more so just the teaching. I was taught differently and I was raised differently, whereas you need to be independent. Like he made that very clear. Your independence is very vital in life. Like that is your bread and your butter. You do not depend on another man. If you do, you can depend on me as your father. But Nami Gefuti, I will take you to a particular point and then I will let you. Because even when the child is learning how to walk, like you will put like stuff around the child in order for them to be able to grab and hold on, so that their steps can be sturdy. So my dad's going to put a chair here, he's going to put the sofa here, and then he's going to put maybe a little table so that I have some sort of like foundation of me being able to start to walk. But sofa and that table, and I've started moving by myself, I'll realize maybe even after the table, I'm not holding on to anything anymore. So like saying that a man is supposed to as a guy, you guys like being heard and you like your space. Fine, we'll create it. But I'm also not going to like dumb myself down or like just myself like for the sake of your comfort and your whatever. Like let me just say this, we're not the same. Some men love women who are submissive or yebo baba. Some guys like girls who are very much take control, like we're like I'm taking control and I'm doing this, and they find that as being like that's what I want in a partner. Not everybody wants a girl that's submissive. But I can say this, like I'm not getting a picky. Every single guy has that in him of Uguti. He wants a submissive person, but to a certain extent, not fully. Like it depends on the person, basically.
It's true though. Uguti, how we raised is different to each person, and it depends on it also impacts you as a person as well. Because like I know Uguti, even sometimes we taught the same things but in different ways. Like I know Untlaga has just said Uguti, she's been taught independence, and her dad taught her that in a different way to how my dad would have taught me, right? So my dad taught me in a sense of Uguti, literally sabancane, he would tell me and my sister Uguti, sebenza mntanam, have your own things. And he wasn't saying Uguti a man will leave us, but he was like, khona mayikshi indoda uneyinto zakho, unazo into zakho, you are secure in yourself. So the whole mentality of secure the bag, I gotta get this myself, came from Uguti. That's how I was taught. And Untlaga naye has been taught in her way of Uguti, as much as yes, her dad is there for her, but eventually she's going to have to do this by herself eventually. So I feel like we all get taught different things and we apply them in different ways in our lives. And even when we get into relationships and we see different people, we like, okay, this person does this like this. This person does this like that. And the whole thing of us coexisting or even forming a friendship or relationship is us saying, okay, I recognize your differences, you recognize my differences. Let's try to make this work, and possibly I can learn something from you and you can learn something from me. I feel like as young people, we need to be open to learn from each other, especially people that are going to, we know Uguti, are going to help us to learn new things, help us learn good things, basically. Like sometimes some people are in your life to uncover certain toxic traits that you have, for example. And some people will be there to uncover the good traits that you have that you didn't know you had. So everyone comes into your life for a purpose, even in a relationship. Then back to what Untlaga was saying about relationships basically showing you, even if you guys don't end up getting married, each relationship you're in probably taught you something, other than the fact that the person hurt you or what happened. Askis if that happened. Mara, they came and there's something fruitful that you got out of that, of the fact that maybe you learned how to be more patient. Maybe nje, patience in dobunganayo empilweni. And then the person came and you learned patience. And then you can use that for the next one and for the next one until you find that one, or eventually it comes to you where you're like, okay, I've learned these skills. Let me exercise these skills and see how this works out.
Brief advice, like what do you want me to say? Take it day by day.
I think you guys can take the women's side. You guys can
the
advise
women's
women.
side.
Yeah.
Let me take the relationship people side.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I'll take the single woman's people's side. Yeah.
Okay. The thing is, okay, sharp, like you at the end of the day, grow in that, continue to be yourself. But there's things that you need to realize about yourself that are not that great in order to help your relationship, not just with your significant other now, but in the future as well. Like, that's one thing that I can say. Something else to say, like, don't let your fear engulf you in terms of like what you can provide or how much love you're willing to give to someone. And also take things day by day. You're not always going to get along. Like, you're not always going to get along. Yazi umuntu ngasuka kini uthi uyohlala naye the whole day. Uhlale naye akucike uqhubeke uhlale naye until you guys get along again. Like, just chilling together for a long time can cause annoyance between the two of you. But it's just like, you have good days, you have bad days. It's like life, basically. But don't cheat. Single. I will do that everything every day. Talk to different people. But when you're in a relationship, don't bring that negative energy into your relationship, please.
Okay. For the single ladies, just guys, like, live your life, man. Like, Nje, live your life. Follow your dreams, fulfill your goals. Do what needs to be done. Don't be so caught up in the fact that I'm single. Relax. Your time will come. Eventually, you'll get into a relationship. And don't say, Hutsuno Tando said, I'm promised a relationship. That's not what I'm saying. It might happen. It might not happen. Just, live your life either way. Live your life in such a way that is so fulfilling, whether it happens or whether it doesn't happen, I will still be fine. I will still be whole. I'll still be who I am and be happy with my life. So, and also, like, don't be too idealistic with your idea of the perfect man and whatnot. Because as we said, nobody's perfect, but there is someone that's probably going to be compatible with you, right? Someone that's going to have at least, let's say you have a list of 10 things in your checklist, that's going to fulfill maybe 7. And maybe you can work with that, right?
You can
just because they
3.
don't, you can work on the 3. So don't be so in the whole situation of, oh, I want that fairy tale type of love. Nope. No, it's not going to happen. Just be realistic, but also open yourself up to getting to know other people. Siamtand, speak to the men or the guys.
Wait, I just want to also advise the ladies that they just need to be out there, just beautiful. They need to take care of themselves. They need to be fit first. They need to work out. Stay beautiful. Just be out there and stay beautiful. Nothing is more attractive than a beautiful woman. So, that's it. And for the guys, just work on yourself first. Know what you're doing with your life. You need to have a purpose. You need to find your purpose and work towards owning whatever you want to own. Maybe creating a legacy, starting over. Maybe you want to build a huge business, go for it. In that, you find when you're looking for a woman, basically what you're looking for many guys, I know that many guys might not claim this, but what they are looking for is a woman who's beautiful, who just draws their eyes. And well, don't take a woman who's going to be bickering over everything. Be careful. That's it. Catch you next time.